We're going to do a get ready with me today. I haven't done one of these in quite some time, but I've been having a lot of questions because my makeup is a little different in the summer, but I also don't change it that often. I did a whole reel over on Instagram about it, but it was kind of quick. So people asked if I could kind of make a whole video about it. So let's do that. Some of these things. Let me first say, you do not need my exact products. Get what works for you. Find the brush that you already have, whatever it might be. So I am at the end of this foundation and it's Clinique Even Better Clinical. I liked it a lot. I'd probably repurchase it. I just use it in the summertime. I'm literally at the end of it to the point that I'm opening the cap to put some on my little thing here. This is definitely a summer color for me. This is not a darker color. And then I add in a little bit of this Dior Forever Undercover. I don't even think they make this anymore. This is like what I do, a little squirt of this in there because it just has a little bit more of a pink undertone to it. I just add a little squirt of it just to give myself a little bit more of that pink undertone that I need. Now let's see here. You know what, we'll just push this back. So this is what I'm starting with. I just take my brush. I always start at my jawline. You can start wherever you want. I do that also to make sure it's really blended because down my neck, my body, my chest, those all have color to them because I'm out in the sun, even though I'm wearing SPF. Whereas my face, I tend to do more SPF hats. I mean, I'm like coating it on because I've had so many years of trying to take care of that so I don't have any more sun issues on my face. I feel like after we have done so much sun damage to us, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure I'm still doing sun damage to my body, but I do have SPF on it. It's just, I live at the beach during the summer and this is what happens. I am much more covered up on my face than anywhere else. So I'm bringing this down just to make sure everything is matching. I'm just really working it into my hairline because again, my face is so much lighter that I don't want it to look like a funny hairline. Getting behind my ears and just kind of working it all in. Next step is I take this Anastasia bronzer. What color is it? Powder bronzer in Tawny. Now I use this in the summertime. It is the only time I can get away with using it, but it is a darker one, but it also has a lot of redness to it. And then I just work it in to my kind of right above the hollows of my cheeks. So I'm creating some dimension there. Then I'm taking it up at the top of my forehead, working it down the sides. These are all places that I would get hit with the sun naturally. I just do a little bit whatever's left on the edge of my nose because you don't want too much there because then you're gonna look like you got a burnt nose. And then I'm going right under my chin, then I bring it down a little bit. Then I take it doesn't have anything left on it. And I'm just kind of going around and working it in so it's not so harsh of a line. So just whatever is left, I'm kind of just working it in a little bit. Then I take that same product, going with a fluffy brush, and I'm just going right in the crease. That's the only spot. I'm not going on my lid. I'm not going up to my brow bone. Going to right below my brow bone. So just in the crease, working my way back and forth. Same color. This is just easy for me. I do well in these colors in the summer. I don't have to think. I don't have to have as much stuff with me. Then I actually take this Charlotte Tilbury. It's like a bronzer duo. I use this a lot in the winter, but then I take a flat brush and I take this and I'm going right up on my brow bone on both sides. Just right under it, not all the way. Then I go in my inner corner on both sides. Then I take that brush that doesn't have anything else. I mean, it has stuff still on it, but I use it to kind of just feather out that brow bone and color mix. I don't want it to look harsh, so I just kind of go back and forth with it, blending it in. Then I take concealer. Again, I don't always want to buy a new concealer, so I use my current concealer, which is the Tarte Shape Tape. It's called Honey something. I forget the actual color number. And I put a dot there and then a dot on either outside corner. And then I have a darker, just like I did with the Dior Forever. I have a Dior I think it's Backstage concealer in a darker shade. And I put a dot right next to it and right next to it. Then I take a stippling brush, like a little, this one so old, and I just go back and forth. So I'm cleaning up that outside corner. Same thing. So I'm cleaning up that outer corner there of any eyeshadow, but then I'm also really getting that concealer in there as well. My favorite blush. I love this. It's the Tarte Blush Tape in the color Berry. I use this every single day. I love it so much. And they have other colors. Something about this berry color just really works for me. And I'm just using a brush from Tarte that they suggested and stippling it in. Then I'm taking my setting powder. The one I'm using is the Hourglass Veil. I use this. I use Laura Mercier Translucent. I use, what's the other one? Oh, Charlotte Tilbury. That one's too light for me right now. So I just use what's in the lid and I go around and I first start right under my eyes. Do the same thing on the other side. Then I tap it up and over my forehead. I needed a little extra, so I just touch down. Then I go down all around. So I'm going under where all the bronzer and blush and things are. And just, then I'm working my way up to that. I don't need as much powder because I already had powder there. I'm more using it just to set that blush. Except I use this, I found it, I think last year. And it comes in a set of 2. It is not sold individually. And the color is Smoky Pillow Talk. It comes in a set, I think it's at Nordstrom, probably on their site too. So I'm going to take this and I go right under my lower lash line, about 3/4 of the way, not quite half and not quite all the way in. Now I'm not going on my waterline here either. So then I take my finger and I actually just smudge that all the way back and forth. Can you see the difference between those two? Same thing on the other side. I just really smudge it in. It gives a blown out look. It just looks nice. Something about it is very summery. And I'm going to go in and curl my lashes, and I'll show you quick on this side. I get as close as I can, pump it like twice, hold it for 5 seconds, pump it a couple more times. Then I move it up a little bit. I pump it 2 times, hold it for about 5 seconds, pump it again, and I'm done. Now, then I go in with my eyeliner. This eyeliner is amazing. It's from a brand called Wonder 2. It is the best thing for your waterline. It does not move. It's so nice. Doesn't transfer. It's crazy. I love it. Can you see again the difference between those 2 eyes? I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Now that I have both of those sides complete, I go in with my Subversion Lash Primer. My lashes have never looked this good. I use the New Lash Serum. I love that stuff. I use it every single night. Does not irritate my eyes. It makes my lashes grow. I love it. And this Subversion Lash Primer, people might say, what's the difference between that and the Lancome? I used to use the Lancome. I'm telling you, this one says it has some lash growth properties in it. I don't know if it does, but ever since I started using this, instead of the Lancome, with that same combo, I haven't had any issues. While that dries for a second, I take a Q-tip and some Evian water, a spray one of it, and I just wet the Q-tip, and I'm going to wipe off my brows and lips. Now I do that because my brows are microbladed, and then I go in with my mascara. This is called the Tarte Tartelette Tubing Mascara, and I'm going to coat those lashes that had dried just a little bit. That little bit of drying makes a difference too. Don't just put a coat in right away. So this mascara is a tubing mascara, which causes little tubes around your lashes, which really, really helps to make them look long and full and just amazing. But also it makes it so it's more water resistant, sweat resistant. It doesn't flake. It is so nice. And then it also has the advantage of, with a cleansing balm, you just, and I do tend to get mascara up on my brow bone. I'll show you how I clean that in a minute. But you just let it go. And when you put the cleansing balm on at night, they come off in like little tubes. So this is the difference with and without. So that is one coat. Sometimes I do a second coat, sometimes I only do a single. So now I'm going to do this eye. Now, if I want them to look really, really full, I go in with a second coat. I just take my time, making sure I'm separating the lashes. I do, as I mentioned, I don't worry about if it touches down on my brow or my lid. I let that set and let it completely dry before I clean it up. That's the key. You have to let it completely dry before you try to clean it up, or else it's just going to smudge your eyeshadow or your bronzer or whatever you have on your lids, even if you have nothing but powder. All right, I'm going to let that dry. I'm going in with a lip liner from Tarte. I'll have to put the names down below. It's a really pretty one. Can't talk very well while I do this. So I go through and outline my lips and then I fill them in. I find it stays better than just lipstick on its own. So I've colored those in. Then I'm going to go in with this Anastasia lipstick. Again, I will list the names down below because I can't see the stickers. This has a really pretty neutral color, but also has a nice shine to it. Last thing, I go in with my Clarins Instant Light Lip Perfector in the color 06 Rosewood. This has like a vanilla scent to it. It's so nice and creamy. It's perfect for summer. Makes your lips feel amazing. Then I'm taking a Q-tip, nothing on it, and I'm just gonna touch those eyeshadow spots. Look at that, it came right off. Are there any over here? Like, did not remove any eyeshadow. It is great. So that is the whole look. I'm telling you guys, this is my go-to. I don't think I've used anything else for the entire summer. This has been my go-to look and what I have been doing. So I hope you enjoyed it. And if you need any information that I did not provide below, let me know down in the comments.